afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Mount Tammany Ridge. As you can see, I've got a special visitor again.
Hi everyone, how are you?
So we're down here and hanging out by some of our other YouTube friends, and I actually wanted to put a special thanks out at the end of the video, actually, to a couple friends up in the Northeast, and stick around a little bit, and you know, while we get this splitting session going back in full tilt, we're just going to finish up this basket. We have a special occasion to go to this evening down at the local park. We're doing a Christmas tree lighting. Some of my friends that are involved in the town, they kind of run the whole deal, and you know, something real simple, small town thing, you know, burgers, hot dogs, bunch of good people from the local area. And you know, they have Santa Claus come on in. Usually it's a fire truck, but today I think it's going to be a different type of truck. I'm not sure what, but I think it's like an international or something. But the kids, I'm sure, will really enjoy that and get a kick out of it. So, but anywho, Teresa and I are gonna fire up the semi-pro, and we're gonna get to blasting these log rounds through here. And hope you guys stick around to see what I got going on at the end of the video. Talk to you soon.
I was gonna say, by the way, express that when it's tree lighting, we're not actually lighting a tree.
Yeah,
on
we're
fire.
not lighting a tree. It's actual lights. So
Christmas lights.
Christmas lights. Oh boy. Oh, that just fits into my channel, doesn't it? Anyway, we're gonna get back to work here. We're gonna get this tote filled up, and hopefully filled up, as long as we don't run into any snags. I don't foresee any, but who knows? It is Mount Tammany Ridge, right? See what happens.
good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Mount Tammany Ridge channel. Oh, I feel like a little bit of a different person. I just got over that cold, and it was like a 4-day thing. Basically, it started Friday evening, and it was kind of on me, on and off. You know, it kind of was like in waves. You'd feel better, and then you'd ramp it up a little bit, and it wouldn't feel so good anymore, and then it would come back down, and then it would hit me again. So I think I'm on the home stretch here. As you can tell, my voice is a little bit closer to back to normal, and I'm still clearing my throat a little bit, but not nearly as much. So anywho, now that I'm like I said, over the hill, I think, of the mending process. As you can see, I'm actually up here in the upper woodlot, and I'm going to be going through, you know, basically just talking with you guys as I'm, you know, updating some of these tags. You know, we've got another couple cord, I think, up here, you know, since the last splitting. Was it the last splitting, or the video, the second to last splitting video that I did? There's been a couple cord produced since then. So, you know, I just wanted to touch on a couple things. I was really kind of hoping to make a little bit more of an in-depth IBC tote modification video. However, you know, pretty much all of my IBC totes have wood in them. So until I actually get some IBC totes empty, I got a couple that are empty, but I really need to get them filled back up with some of that ash, so that it can be in the seasoning process sooner than later. And I really don't want to tie up one of those totes, you know, for a video that it's just going to take me probably too much time to get the video the way I want it to be. So I'm gonna kind of give you guys sort of like a rundown of my thinking on, you know, keeping those IBC totes a little on the tighter side. Now, this is not gonna be really a DIY or a how-to, so to speak, but it's just gonna kind of give you another option as far as another way to do it, depending on what type of lifestyle you might be, you know, living on a day-to-day basis. You know, an electrician might have a different idea because he's got certain materials, scrap materials, things like that, carpenter, so on and so forth. And over the years, I have done a lot of trucking type of stuff. So I did a lot of flatbed work, running hot shot type of loads, with a 1-ton platform truck, and towing a 40-foot gooseneck trailer through most of the duration of that career. So, you know, typically some of those solutions for a guy like me might look a little bit different, right? And it's not because we can't do the things that the other people are doing. A lot of times it just happens to be available time, right? I mean, if your wheels aren't turning, you're not making any money as a truck driver typically. So they might kind of lean on things that they have laying around that are supplied by their work. So I just wanted to show you something right here. If you just give me a second, I got the Ranger on the other side of the camera, and I just kind of want to give you guys a little bit of food for thought. All right, so I found an IBC tote that was placed in a way where I could get good access to the side that would mean the most in this video without the sun bleaching out the camera, so you can actually see me aside from my eyes because of my hat. So as you can see here, what I've got is a 4-inch trucker's strap. Okay, and like I said, I used to do a lot of flatbedding, and over the years of doing flatbedding, because we are subject to the Department of Transportation giving us inspections, okay, there are regulations and rules, understandably, that require you to replace these straps. Basically, I mean, I don't know about, you know, sun damage from, you know, UV damage, things like that. I don't know if there's a maximum time. I'm sure there's something in the regulation books that might speak on it, but usually it's about abrasions, you know, near where the, you know, the flat hook here, things like that. When it starts looking a little bit ratty and tattered, you know, we like to swap them out just in case one day going through inspection, they decide to kind of check them out. That's just one less thing that they can put you out of service for, or basically get a payday on. So, because stuff like this, it can be very expensive, especially if there's multiple. Anywho, off that subject, but these can be a fantastic option here, right? So, they seem to fit over the edge quite well. Right, I'm sure this is the one that's got the square tubing. I'm sure the one that's down a couple totes from me might fit a little bit different. You might have to hook it from the bottom like this, and it might be sticking up like that. So, you know, it is what it is, but it is an option nonetheless. And you know, you stretch it, you know, out. So my thinking is, if you were to, I mean, you could use some washers and self-tappers, right? And you could self-tap into the sides, you know, the sides here instead of on top. You could self-tap into the sides with some washers to, you know, give it a little bit more, you know, life expectancy. And obviously, whatever that length of strap it is that you're looking for to be suitable to give you the most square, how can I say, to keep the basket as square as possible. I mean, you don't want the sides to begin to spread before this gets taut. So I imagine while you're making these modifications, you'd probably want to do it with an empty tote and make sure that you pull those sides back together if they've already been compromised. Cut the strap to fit that, whatever that dimension is, that measurement. And then from there on out, you can do that. Now, the plus side to this, right, is if you do have one of these going across, and let's say a scenario, you drop it off to a customer, okay, and they want it in the tote, right? Now, if they smack the back of their head on this, yeah, it's going to be annoying as heck, but it's not going to knock them out. It's not going to give them a deep laceration from serrated edges. Or, you know, again, if you're using it or something like that, that's not really an issue. Now you can put them here, like, you know, around the same area of the basket as Mike Morgan's modification, or you can put them in the center, closer to where Heath and Rachel had mentioned would be a really great idea. And I love that idea. That's fantastic. However, again, it does absolutely prevent you 100% from doing any stacking. So to some guys who are trying to modify them or find a solution as to really be able to maximize their footprint for storage, might want to start stacking these things. I'm trying to kind of think of ways to make that happen in the future and still have this be a viable option. Now, again, this is only viable, again, to somebody who might be in the trucking industry or who might have contacts with somebody in the family or a friend that has a bunch of these things laying around their house or their shop because they've swapped them out over and over again. And again, the 4-inch straps aren't where that stops. I mean, you got the 2.5-inch yellow straps. God, I probably got, well, at least I used to. There was a buddy of mine up the road I used to give a bunch of them to. So I don't know, I might not have as many as I think I do. But you know, those, I mean, you're using them from Tractor Supply, moving your farm equipment around, so on and so forth. You got any friends in the hot shot industry? Most of the hot shots, they don't use 4-inch straps. They use the 2.5s. They got the J hooks, they got the flat hooks. And the J hook might actually be better than the flat hook because the flat hook is a little bit more, how can I say, problematic when I was talking about that one, that other style tote where it's got that web on the bottom where they pinch it together, right? So, but anywho, I figured I would bring this up. You know, you can attach this, like I said, to the other side with either, like I said, sheet metal self-tapping screws with some washers, like I said, to keep the heads from pulling through, or you can use rivets, right? You know, because you can basically wrap this strap around back on itself, right? Just like it is up here. And instead of having it stitched, right, you can use washers on both sides of the rivet and, you know, put like 2 or 3 triangulated, maybe triangulate 3 rivets. And, you know, you can use those to secure it back on itself. That way, you know, you just pop this thing off and you flip it over when you want to load it, you know, and you don't have to worry about that thing being there at all. It's not taking screws out. It's not doing anything like that. You're literally just unhooking it. You know, you might, you know, squeeze the basket a little bit to get it over the edge, but I really don't think that's, I don't think that's that big a deal, especially if you're cutting them like, oh, I just stepped out of the camera there. If you're cutting them all the way down to the bottom, you know, like Mike Morgan was suggesting, it's going to be a lot easier to pull the sides of that basket together to get this to unhook once you have it already dumped out and empty, obviously. But just an idea. I mean, and you know, there's 40 feet of strap here, right? So I mean, over time, you know, if you decided, you know, that you wanted to go get some you know, mild steel, scrap steel, whatever that was, you know, maybe 1/8 of an inch thick, or even you know, 3/16 somewhere in there, and you wanted to bend your own flat hook, you could literally rivet the strap to the flat hook that you make, right? Now you got a hook. So then all you got to do is just do that. And I personally feel it could be a relatively long-term solution. I mean, these straps in the sun last on these trucks and trailers for years and years and years. And they really only start to fall apart if it's exposed to the combination of both constant tension, right, being used all the time on a daily basis, and the sun and snow and salt combined. So if you have them here sitting static, basically, with almost no tension on them in the sun, I imagine for what we're doing, they're going to serve a very long life expectancy, I imagine. So, but that's going to be it for that subject right now. There are other ideas I have that are tote related. One of which I saw on a video this morning. I'm trying to remember the name of the channel. I think it's 7 Oaks or 9 Oaks. It's one of those two. And I'll tell you, he came out with a great idea. You know, he's got 2 hooks that he welded onto the rack system on his forks. And he welded them at such a height where when you pick up the basket, the forks at the bottom of the basket, at the same time these hooks catch some of the rungs in the back of the basket. And I thought that was a fantastic idea. And it seemed to work pretty well. There's a couple things about it that are still, you know, that I think might be, you know, might be able to try some different things with that same idea, but just slightly different. And I might even look into doing something similar to that too. And basically, when it comes to solutions like that, where you gotta like weld things on to, say, your fork system or whatever, you need to keep in mind that solutions like that are going to vary depending on the shape of your fork system. You know, that headboard for your fork system, they're all shaped differently. Some of them are beveled, some of them are rectangular, some of them have big spaces in the vertical bars, some of them have a mesh. So you might have to take a similar concept that somebody else has with a different fork setup and try to make it your own to accommodate whatever you do have. All right, well, I'm down here at the wood yard now. There's a good chance I will fire up the splitter and run some of this ash through before the day is out. Depending on when I get around to doing that, I might even fire up the chainsaw and at least buck up that real big round there, or I should say real big diameter log, and get that the heck out of the way, because I'm gonna have to quarter that up with the chainsaw and see if I can start mowing into that other stuff. Now this weekend, I'm hoping to bring you guys along. It'll be a separate video. Bring you along with me to that gal's house on the other couple towns over. I was hoping to have done it this past weekend. However, I went over there to check out the accessibility to her property with my big trailer, and it was just going to be too much in the way and too much tracking back and forth with my machine to get those, to get that wood to the trailer to haul it out of there. So I'm trying to be in there and do minimal moving around with the machine as possible. So the dump trailer was the only way I was going to be able to do it, and we had to send that out on a mission last weekend to go get hay before the rain hit on Sunday. So that was a zero compromise type of situation. So yeah, down here at the wood yard, I'm gonna wrap up this video with you guys. And I had mentioned earlier in the video that I wanted you guys to stick around to the end of the video. Reason being is I just had a really awesome, I'd say week and a half, even though I've been sick, between Phil with the Allen Family Firewood channel and his wife Karen, and Dana and his wife. I just had a whole lot of fun with these two, texting, or well, not texting, but emailing back and forth and messaging back and forth through the comments, through the content that we both share and all that stuff. And I gotta tell you, not just the humor back and forth. I mean, we're like three peas in a pod, really. And that is really that's the bonding agent, right? The similar personalities and humor. But I'll tell you, outstanding people. They're all outstanding people, and I can only how can I say, I've just had far more social interaction with those folks. I think as far as a level of humor, there's probably a couple other channels, like Brent, from Around the Yard, and Tom from Fate Farms. We're all kind of, very similar as far as our sense of humor and things like that. So it's really cool. It's almost like there's like a group of us that are starting to get a little bit more tight knit, and not that we're separating ourselves at all in any way from the rest of the firewood community, because this firewood hound community, with the Back 40 Live with Shifty, and outside with Shibe and Brad and Jack, I mean, there's too many names to mention. I can't even possibly rattle them off. When I see all of you guys in the Back 40 Live, I know exactly who you are for the most part. There's some in there that I still don't know yet, but I know your face, I know your sticker, I know all that. And it really is a hoot. It's a lot of fun hanging out with you guys and talking back and forth and joking. And I really want to kind of make this, a little bit more on the side of our community. I want to be more part of that, because the marbles rolling around in my head every once in a while, I can come up with something pretty funny. At least hoping it's funny. Who knows, right? It's only as funny as somebody's willing to laugh at. So But you know, Phil, Karen, Dana, and I believe it's Annie, thank you so much for the past week and a half of snickering and laughing. You know, you made, you know, that time that I was sick, you know, almost a good time, because I had too much downtime. And you know how it is, you know, at this time of year, you know, Mike Morgan was talking about, you know, depression can kind of roll in thick, you know, when it's the muddy season and it's dreary, and you know, it's just, it can be a real drag sometimes. And you know, you guys really helped me through that one there. So tomorrow it'll be back to work, humping more lumber and doors and windows and all that stuff, and struggling to get some traction on some stuff down here before the sun goes down. But I will be happy to get back to work. I've absolutely been stir crazy, and it actually hurts me more to sit down these days than it does to be up doing something. But anywho, I just wanted to thank all of you guys. You know, and not just, you know, Phil and Karen and Dana and his wife. You know, Phil and Karen giving me that shout out. I mean, that means so much to me. You guys have no idea. You know, nobody has to do that for one another on this platform. You know, it could very easily be, you know, fend for yourself kind of thing out here, and the Woodhound community is everything but that. They're all very inclusive, and they're just a whole lot of fun and genuinely generous, giving people. So and also Brad and all you guys that went down there for that charity and hope, that Hope charity. I believe it was, oh gosh, what part of Pennsylvania was it? It was a little bit further south from York, PA. That they held this event, and kudos to you guys for all showing up there and kicking some butt. Man, I was really impressed with that pile of wood you guys had made. Oh man, that was borderline epic, guys. So kudos to all you guys who had gotten yourselves involved in that. I could only hope to one day be able to have some sort of an event up this way where I can also in a, you know, charity sort of way, be able to provide something like that to people in need up this way. So we'll have to see. Maybe I can link up with the Lions Club one day. It's literally just on the other side of this tree line behind me, the Lions Club, and it would be cool. But you know, I can't really say it's gonna happen because that's really all up to them and how much they want to get involved. So anywho, if you guys like the content you see on this channel, if you could hit that like button, subscribe, maybe share with some of your friends, hit the notification bell there. It'll let you guys know whenever I upload new content. And thank you guys. Thank you for everything and your support and all the new subscribers I've gotten over the past month. It's been fantastic. You guys have yourselves a good night, and I'll see you here sooner than later on Mount Tammany Ridge.